Hello YouTube. Well, today I took a little trip to CompUSA and got myself a new graphics card. I've been long overdue to get one, and I finally got one. It is a GTX 550 Ti, in the EVGA version. It's an Nvidia card. Admittedly, there are better cards than this, such as the GTX 480, and of course, the 560 and the 660 Ti and the rest of them. But this one really fit the bill for me. It's a very cheap 2GB card, which is important because I want this card to last quite a long time. I don't necessarily need the highest-end graphics card I can find because I'm not the biggest gamer in the world. I do game, but the games that I play don't really require graphics cards that are amazing, so it's really not that big a deal. I mean, games like World of Tanks and Counter-Strike Go and Team Fortress 2 and things like that don't really need a whole lot, so this card is fine. And as I show you the card, I'll explain more. Oh yeah, another thing I got at CompUSA was an 8GB flash drive. This was $5. Flash memory is getting real cheap these days. Anyway, back to the graphics card. Let's unbox this thing. Let's just take a look at it. Now, this is an upgrade from a GTS 250. That I've had for a while, so it's a pretty big upgrade as far as it goes. So whether this card is top of the line or not, it's going to be a big upgrade, which is very important. And it has a nice big fan too. Here are the main features of the card. If you want to pause to read those. It's got an overclocking utility, an OC scanner. I'm not going to be overclocking this card at all. It's got a nice big fan too, which is kind of nice. Alright, let's just open this box here. Alright, I got the plastic off, so let's open this up and check it out. Of course, that... Really? Part of the box got ripped, of course, as it always does. So let's get this thing out. And here it all is. You get a manual thing. Is there anything else in there? Doesn't look like it. You get a Molex to PCIe connector adapter. You get a DVI to VGA adapter, which is pretty important if you have a VGA monitor like I do still. I have yet to get a newer monitor, so it's still VGA. And here's the card itself. It's not a very heavy card. So let's just take a good look at it here. Let's undo the tape here. Warning, electrostatic devices are sensitive. Yes, they are. And here she is. Look at that card. Nice big fan. It's got a plastic protective covering over the label. Not going to need that anymore. Look at that. Remove protection film before use. Yeah, you kind of have to, or else you're just stuck with this. So much plastic. But yes, this is the 550 Ti. It's got a nice looking backplate there. That's not bad at all. This one has 2GB of onboard RAM with texture memory, so this one should last quite a while. And also, it's dual DVI. Both DVI ports support analog. And it also has a mini HDMI port. I think that's a mini HDMI. Yeah, it is. So I could use that for an HDMI monitor in the future if I wanted to, which is pretty nice. Now, the 550 Ti is a Fermi card. And this is a very, very cool running card, which is the other reason I bought it. Because a lot of the cards these days run really hot. And I didn't want one that ran hot. And this one doesn't run all that hot. Like the, let's say a GTX 460 would. They run very, very hot. And the other reason I got this card is because it was a sort of a mid-range 2GB graphics card that only requires one PCIe connector, which is important because my power supply is a 520 watt Seasonic that's in my main computer, and I'd have to upgrade the power supply along with a more expensive graphics card if I went on that road. And I didn't need that big of an upgrade, so only having one will fit the build pretty well. I don't have to upgrade the power supply now. I can just stick this in there and use it, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So it's not the highest NVIDIA card in the world, but it will definitely be a gigantic upgrade from the GTX 250, which is what I want. And the GTX 250 is already more than I need, and this will only make that computer last longer. So, well, as the build that it's in now, but either way. Anyway, we shall upgrade my main machine, and by upgrading my main machine, I'm also hand-me-downing, if that's a word, my other graphics cards to my other computers. So the GTX 250 will be going into my AMD build. So, and that will be being upgraded from an 8800 GT. So that will be a nice upgrade. So let's get to it. This is the graphics card that was in my main machine, which is this GTX 250. It's been a very good card so far, so I've been pretty happy with it since I was donated it. And this is what I'm upgrading to, the 550 Ti. This is a much bigger card than this, so this is a much smaller card, which is nice in a case, actually. They're both about the same weight. This one's actually a little bit lighter. So I'll stick this one in there, and that one will go to my upstairs machine that I use. I'll be using this card probably a lot more up there. So let's do this. Okay, the card has been installed. I didn't uninstall the Nvidia drivers because I think it uses the same ones. So let's turn this on. Sounds quiet. This card was a little loud. So sweet. Appears to work. No artifacts in the BIOS, so that's a good sign. Hopefully this card lasts a good while. Oh wow. Low resolution, man. Oh boy. It found something. Come on, do your thing. Well, it's finding quite a bit, actually. This is the before. Graphics is a 6.9 on both, so let's see what happens. So graphics went from a 6.9 to a 7.4. It's a pretty good improvement. Alright, so that improvement to the graphics performance on the main machine down there is definitely a good one. That 6.9 to 7.4, I think, I forget, was a definitely a noticeable improvement. Now, in my secondary machine up here, I have an 8800 GT. And I'm going to be upgrading it to this GTX 250. Now, what the GTX 250 is, for those of you that don't know, is it's basically a 9800 GTX in a more efficient package. So, when you get right down to it, it's a 9800 GTX, which is a damn good card. So, this one just happens to run cooler and more efficiently. So, I'll have to stick this in here, and we'll find out how much of an improvement it is. I doubt it's going to be too much of an improvement, if at all. But it has 1 gigabyte of graphics memory, which is an upgrade to the 8800 GT that's in there that has 512 megs. So let's get right to it. So these are my current ratings for the computer up here. And for graphics, it's 6.6 all through and through. The processor up here is actually a lot better than the i3 down there. Probably because this one has a lot more cores. Anyhow, it's at a 6.6 now, so let's see what a GTX 250 does to that rating. Alright, let's run the benchmark. Woo, white balance. So remember, this is a 6.6. Let's see what it ends up being once this is done. Alright, the graphics went from a 6.6 to a 7.0, which is good to see. So it's, that's odd. It was 6.9 in the i3 and 7.0 in this machine. That's weird. But either way, it's a modest, I'd say it's a pretty good improvement. It's, maybe modest improvement compared to what was in there. So, considering that a 9800 GTX is not that much different from an 8800 GTX, and that this is just a more efficient package of it, I'd say that's a pretty good improvement. And I think the 1 gigabyte of graphics memory makes a big difference as far as that's concerned. So, it's more caught up with today's games. Not quite, but it's much better than the 8800 GT I had with the 512 megs of RAM. So, that's definitely a good upgrade. So, I've upgraded both of my computers, graphics-wise. That's the nice thing about buying a graphics card and having multiple machines. You can hand-me-down graphics cards to different machines. And buying this one, just buying one of these, allowed me to do that. So I'm very happy about that. I can't wait to start playing games using that just to see how well it works. And the GTS 250 up here, I'm well aware of how that works, so that'll be it. So this, I think, was definitely well worth it. This card was $140, and once I send in the rebate, I'll get basically $30 back. So that $30 will definitely be awesome once that comes in. So there you have it, guys. That's an upgrade to both my main computer and my secondary computer as far as graphics cards are concerned. Now, concerning the 8800 GT, somebody in somewhere, I forget in what instance it was, but somebody asked me if they could have this once I upgraded. I'm not quite ready to give this thing up yet. I'm still going to keep it around as a spare in case something happens. But when or if I get around to selling this, it will not include this Zalman cooler, because I paid a lot of money for this cooler, and I'm keeping it. I'm getting my money's worth out of it. So if I offer this up and anybody takes it, it will come without the cooler. Just in case you guys, just so you guys know. But yeah, that was a graphics card upgrade, something I don't do very often, and definitely nice when the occasion comes about. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a little boring, but, you know, nonetheless, it's computer stuff, and I like getting shiny new things, so thought it was worth the video. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a good one, everybody. Ciao.